Dundee United with their starting lineup in white again, and they're bringing on the big guns for the most part. Alec Cleland, the only youngster, along with, of course, Alan Main in goal. And Maurice Malpass will certainly relish this big match atmosphere against Rangers. And there's the Rangers lineup, again in white. Graham Souness, Davy Cooper, Ali McCoist, all in the starting lineup. But the most remarkable introduction is that of Chris Woods, who makes a return and goal. And this becomes a very important occasion for the English international goalkeeper. The referee Andrew Waddle satisfies himself that all is well for the start of this big clash, and the arena, of course, full of Rangers fans. They didn't take part last season, but here, as though they mean business tonight. Looking at their lineup, here's Graham Souness. Stuart Munro goes forward, followed by Bowman. Davy Cooper getting some welcome match practice also. Here's Munro. It's well taken by Main. He had to hold that. McCoist was hovering. It's back with Bowman. Here's Gallagher. Tackled by Nicol. Gallagher again. Going away from Cooper. Blocked by the chest of Woods. Good effort that from Gallagher, but Woods managed to cope all right. Here's Graham Souness. And McKinley. Racing forward now, Gallagher. Yes! Brilliantly finished by Gallagher. Chris Woods had no answer to that, and I wonder if he would have, even if he had been in full match practice. Look at the way that was finished by Kevin Gallagher. Kevin Gallagher's turn, he's brought down by Munro, right at the edge of the area. Electric turn that from Kevin Gallagher. Inducing that rash challenge from Munro. A two-man wall, the maximum, and back to McKinley. There's Gallagher. The tackle from Munro was adequate to prevent any power in the shot. Here's Munro. And Davy Cooper. McCoist. Found its way past Alan Main. McCoist is on the score sheet. The Rangers fans celebrate the first goal from their team of the night. There was McCoist. Well, Alan Main, I'm sure, will consider that a goal conceded. One each. McCoist in possession again. There's Davy Cooper, that's well saved by Main. And McKinley completed the clearance. Neil Cooper is on for Rangers, battling hard there with Alec Cleland and Billy McKinley. There's Gallagher with Souness. Down goes Gallagher. Bad tackle by Souness. Well, the sin bin has only been used once so far in the tournament. It was Brian Irvin. Graham Souness being spoken to by referee Waddle, but no other action being taken. There's French, who's come on for United. Evan Gallagher takes over. Beaten away by Woods. There's Cleland. Good finish by Alec Cleland, the youngster in the United ranks. It was Kevin Gallagher who caused the problem. Beaten away there by Woods, and there was Cleland to stab the ball home. Spencer goes off. Gallagher and McKinley. Good turn by Cleland. Gallagher goes across. There's Kevin Gallagher. United looking for the killer goal, the third, which will give them a two-goal cushion. The time running out rapidly. There's Davy Cooper and Ali McCoist. Munro. Cooper back to Munro. Souness, 1 minute left. Malpass comes away from McCoist. Well, he'll keep possession for the rest of the match if need be, and if he's allowed. Down he goes, and the challenge from Souness. Souness goes off, Nicol comes on. Here's McKinley and Malpass. He's had a superb match for United, Maurice Malpass, controlling everything. Munro and Gallagher at the corner. Munro brings it clear. Here's Nicol, half a minute left. Can Rangers save the match? An equaliser late on. And McCoy provides it. Inside the last half minute, Ali McCoy equalises for Rangers. Fine turn this is. Shot with the left foot right beyond Alan Main into the corner. The countdown begins now. United thought they had the match won, I think. But the Hooter going now at any second. There it goes. Final score is Dundee United 2, Rangers, courtesy of Ali McCoy's 2. Jimmy Bowen and Gordon Wallace, the United coaches. In the dugout, this is a very important sequence of penalties for United. Kevin Gallagher will take the first. Testing work for Chris Woods also. Here's Gallagher. Well, no mistake there from Gallagher. Beautifully struck right into the corner. The Woods going the wrong way, and a lot of power in that shot from Gallagher. So Cooper will take the first for Rangers. Davy Cooper, that is, against Alan Main. Well, equally convincing. So Davy Cooper sending Main the wrong way this time. The left foot dumping the ball home. Billy McKinley now facing Chris Woods. Now Woods guessed right, and McKinley hit the post with it. Disappointment for the young man. Graham Souness sees the prospect now of victory for Rangers. Well, it wasn't even the post, it was wider than that from McKinley. Here's Jimmy Nicol against Alan Main. Driven into the corner. Good finish again from Rangers. Main guessing right, but the pace of the ball beaten. Here's Dave Bowman now for United. And a great save from Chris Woods. Well, that'll do his confidence a lot of good. He still doesn't look quite himself, I must say, but he certainly got to that brilliantly. Stuart Monroe now can win the match for Rangers with this penalty kick, which will put it beyond United. And Main brings off a great save for Dundee United. United hanging on now by their fingertips. Great save that indeed from Main. So Malpass has to score to force Rangers to win it with their last kick. This Malpass, not renowned for scoring goals or taking penalties. Well, I can't think why after that. Beautifully finished by Maurice Malpass. An excellent penalty from Malpass, who had a superb game against Rangers. And now it's McCoist with a chance to win the tie or win the match for Rangers. Well, ever the showman, Ali McCoist, he couldn't resist it. Beautifully finished by McCoist. You could tell he enjoyed that in the pool. Just look at this.
Ali McCoist, a bit of a cheeky penalty kick at the end there.
Well, I had a wee chat with David there, and the goalkeeper's always dive there, and there was no pressure on really because if I'd missed it, we still had another chance. So a wee bit cheeky, maybe a wee bit.
Rangers not a wee bit lucky to get through there.
Yeah, I think so. We left a wee bit late. We got equaliser with about 15-20 seconds to go. But that's the secret of the Sixes. It's 100-mile-an-hour stuff.
The turn of the Hibees, the Hibs from Edinburgh, the team currently in form with 2 wins out of 2. They're playing Rangers, who had that tense penalty decider against Dundee United. Let's see how it turns out. Back once again to Jock Brown.
So Hibs coming out to face Rangers. Hibs with a 100% record at this stage, and there's their starting lineup in white. So full 12-man squad, and Andy Gordon was the key man in the last match. He'll be very important again. Rangers lining up there, showing Graham Souness as number 4 as a substitute, but I think we'll be able to show you in just a second. There's no chance of that because there he is. He's changed out of his gear and he's now in civilian clothes to watch the rest of the proceedings, so he will take no further part this evening. So referee Douglas Hope sets the game in motion, and Rangers have only played once. They have 2 points from that. Hibs have 4 from their 2 matches. So at the moment I would suggest favourites to qualify from this section, perhaps, both these clubs, but this game could have a very important bearing on things. The Hibs keep their top goal scorer, George McCluskey, in reserve for the moment. He's scored 3 times for them. And Rangers' only goal scorer so far is Ali McCoist, who's not in the starting lineup either. Here's Ian McCall. Breaks for Collins. And Gareth Evans all on his own. A great chance for Hibs. Well, you can't finish any better than that. Lashing the ball into the roof of the net. Well, despite his deadpan expression, I'm sure he enjoyed that thoroughly. Leaving Chris Woods exposed to Rangers' defence, he had no answer to that. Here's Davy Cooper. Now Nicol. To Neil Cooper. McSwegan. So impressive in the Rangers reserves. As it goes to Nicol, a deflection! And Rangers are back on level terms. Neil Cooper goes off, he's been replaced. Let's see where this came from. It was a powerfully hit shot that came off Neil Cooper. He gets the credit, steering the ball into the net. One each, and a fine match developing. And it's tough, mighty tough out there. Scott Nisbet has come on for Rangers. Here's Davy Cooper. Jimmy Nicol making a run on the far side. McSwegan shot. And a great finish by Gary McSwegan. That will endear him to the Rangers fans, of whom there are plenty inside the exhibition centre tonight. Hooked in with the left foot. And Rangers go in front. Kane to Milne. Evans laying it off for Kane, but Neil Cooper steps in. Here's McCoist. Now Neil Cooper. Now John Spencer. A snap shot. There's Ali McCoist. Tackled by Snedden. The referee indicates a dive as Rangers appeal for a penalty. There's Spencer. Excellent handling once again by Golan. Collins back to Snedden. There's Collins. Off the boards are well taken by Woods. Well, that's very sharp, alert goalkeeping. It looks as though he's growing in confidence now. Obviously came into tonight's tournament with lots of doubts. So 50 seconds remaining. Peter Cormack on with some instructions. Neil Cooper goes on for Ian McCall just to tighten things up for the closing seconds. Here's McCluskey. Trying to find space for a shot at goal, and Nisbet sends it forward. It's collected by McCoist. He's tackled instantly by Snedden. Nisbet and Tortolano together. Still Nisbet. Leaving it now to Neil Cooper. Takes it along the boards to safety. Here's Andy Gorham. Time running out now for Hibs. Here's George McCluskey. Can he do something right in the dying seconds? Taking on Monroe. Great save from Woods. Magnificent diving save by Chris Woods. And that is the save which guarantees victory for Rangers. He still doesn't look entirely happy, Chris Woods, but he played superbly in that victory. The final score, Hibs 1, Rangers 2.
Chris Woods, we all know, of course, you've been suffering from this problem with balance and vision. Here you are playing at the Sixes tonight. How are you feeling?
Well, better than what I have been, but it's still not quite right, but it's a step in the right direction.
Have you suffered any problems at all whilst you've been playing tonight?
Kind of the usual things, but I usually get them anyway. Just trying to see the ball, that's the biggest problem. You know, goalkeepers are on a hide into nothing in this game anyway, so, you know, you have to be...
Point job, Brian.
The final match of a superb day's entertainment. Rangers against Motherwell. Rangers looking to win this match to make them certain to qualify for the semi-finals. But Motherwell too know they're in with an excellent chance if they can get a victory, because with Hearts losing the last match to United, it's wide open in this section. With Hibs perhaps the favourites at this stage, with Rangers to qualify. But Motherwell showed their determination last year. They made the final for losing to Dundee. Walter Smith there in the middle of that Rangers dugout, or Rangers bench rather. There's Jimmy Nicol. John Spencer shrugging off the challenge from Boyd the first time and the second time. That's good play by the youngster. Here's Scott Nisbet, who's joined the action. And now Mayer. Monroe was very quick to the ball. Tackled though by Mayer. Here's Bryce for Motherwell. Oh, that's great play by the youngster. Well, he will certainly have enjoyed that. His first goal of the night. Sammy Murray and Tom Forsyth on their feet to greet the goal from Stephen Bryce. Just look at the confidence here, going on, taking on his man, coming inside, steering the ball beyond Woods. It's Gordon Mayer. Peter Wishart is now on. Paul Kinnaird, blocked by Woods. There's Kinnaird again, inside the final minute. Well, now, Hooter is gone, but I can't think why, because there's still 50 seconds left in the first half. Now, it looks as though a penalty kick has been awarded to Motherwell, and that came from the official off the field, and I cannot honestly tell you what the infringement was. Gordon Mayer against Chris Woods. A great opportunity wasted. Motherwell still in the lead, but that would have made it 2-0. Scooped high over the bar. Down goes Spencer, he gets the free kick. If there's enough time to take it, the clock ticks on, 10 seconds remaining. Countdown begins, there's Cooper to Nicol. And it's his turn to loft the ball over the bar. And that's the half-time hooter now. It's Motherwell leading by 1-0. McCoy, the back killer into the path of Monroe, but Cammy Duncan steps out, leaves it now to Boyd. Working his way along the boards, good play. Still Boyd coming all the way himself. He has Kinnaird waiting in the middle. There's Kinnaird. A fine goal from Motherwell, inspired by their captain, Tom Boyd. 2-0 to Motherwell. This with a solo effort till the final touch. Boyd coming all the way upfield and then setting it up. An easy task for Paul Kinnaird. There's Craig Patterson. Peter Wishart being policed by Jimmy Nicol. Swigan goes down, the tackle with Wishart. Here's O'Neill. Turned in again by Kinnaird, off the legs of McCall. 3-0 to Motherwell. Tom Forsyth doesn't look particularly happy, but I'm sure he is. Paul Kinnaird takes the credit. Colin O'Neill setting up the chance. Woods looking a little bit uncertain. It came off the boards, was forced in by Kinnaird. Spencer has come on, so has Neil Cooper. Jimmy Nicol is off. So is Ian McCall. There's Spencer looking for McCoy. It's off the boards for Spencer. Well, a great chance for the youngster. He'd have enjoyed scoring that. Graham Souness looks impassive as he looks on from the sidelines. There's Steve Kirk. Philibin. There's Neil Cooper's challenge. Steve Kirk is there. There's Monroe. Now Spencer. Stuart Monroe. Neil Cooper. 1.5 minutes remaining. 3-0 to Motherwell. Stuart Monroe to John Spencer. Here's Neil Cooper. Back it goes to Monroe. McCoy controlling it well. Great shot on the turn, and McCoy pulls one back for Rangers. His third goal of the night. Looking determined and looking lively. Keeping up the record of every club getting a goal in each match. The corner for McCoy to chase. Neil Cooper helping. So 15 seconds left. Not enough time for Rangers to save the match. Swigan. Here's John Spencer. The countdown begins. Spencer going past Wishart. Still in possession. Getting a shot on target though. And there goes the final hooter. Motherwell, the winners by 3-1.
Match match in Group 2, and here's the reason why. Take a look at this league table. There you have it, Motherwell already through, but Rangers are now going to play Hearts. If Rangers win, they will join Motherwell in the semi-finals. If they don't, well, there you can see it. Hibs, Rangers and Hearts will all be on 4 points, and it's all back to goal difference.
So the first entrance for Rangers tonight. They look as though they may well make it to the semi-finals, and there's the lineup that'll start. The men in white there. A notable omission is Ali McCoist, but Chris Woods has reappeared tonight after his heroics yesterday, and a very welcome return to the Rangers goal after his spell of illness. There's the Hearts opening lineup. Again, they've brought the big guns through, and up front they have Ian Ferguson, the former Rangers player, and he will be very anxious to find the net. Henry Smith in goal, a very important player also. So it's Rangers against Hearts. Now, position here is that if Rangers win, they're definitely through. If they lose to Hearts, then it becomes a question of goal difference. Motherwell will definitely be through, and then it'll be a question of who goes through in second place, and that will be decided on goal difference. So Hearts not only have to win, but they have to win by a convincing score. There's Cahun. So a free kick on the halfway line for Hearts. Here's Ian Jordan. Cross it goes to Galloway, running into Nisbet. Nisbet now on the break. Interception by Ian Jordan. Here's Spencer. And there's the signal to indicate that there was no player on the Hearts side inside the attacking zone or inside the Rangers half. That makes it a penalty kick to Rangers. Very severe penalty for that infringement, but you have to keep one attacking player in the other half of the field. So here's Davy Cooper with the penalty. Cooper against Henry Smith. Rangers take the lead. Rangers take the lead by 1-0. Davy Cooper from the penalty spot. A hard lesson learnt here by Hearts. Smith guessed right but couldn't reach it. And there's a yellow card shown to Neil Cooper. Neil Cooper banished to the sin bin for 2 minutes for that tackle. So Rangers freshen up with Nisbet going on, McCall going off. Sandy Clark is also off with Ferguson on. It's a great save from Wayne Foster. Dumped well out of the playing area by Scott Nisbet. And that's Chris Woods making another good save. Scott Nisbet, and Neil Cooper has served his suspension. He's back on the field out of the sin bin after his 2-minute spell. So Nisbet goes inside and he has been replaced by Ian McCall. Here's Neil Cooper. Davy Cooper playing it inside. It came up Whittaker and Henry Smith was quick to the ball. Here's Don Cahun. Hearts have to do something dramatic now. Henry Smith's clearance goes straight to Neil Cooper. Cooper gets a second for Rangers. An error there, a rare one by Henry Smith. The Rangers look in a commanding position now. That clearance by Henry Smith straight to Neil Cooper, who kept his head, looked up, saw the gap and drove the ball home. So here's Tosh McKinlay. Rangers now looking as though they're sure to join Motherwell in the semi-finals. Celtic and St Mirren waiting for them, and the referee is going to take action against Ian Ferguson, and that's sarcastic applause. You don't quite see it, but the sarcastic applause by Ian Ferguson for Jim McCluskey's decision. He will take no further part in the play. Ian Ferguson, the former Rangers player. Galloway knocking it down to Jordan, but the time has run out for Hearts. They're certainly not going to take any more part in the competition. They won it in 1985, but they'll take no further part in 1989. Headed away by Sanderson. There goes the final hooter. Rangers are through. The Coopers did it for them. Davy Cooper with a penalty, Neil Cooper with a shot, and Rangers go through to meet Celtic in the semi-final.
In the other semi-final, Motherwell, winners of Group 2, placed St Mirren runners-up in Group 1. Jimmy Nicholl, what a turn-up, a Rangers-Celtic semi-final. What do you think of it, Roy?
Well, I suppose we had to beat each other sometime in the competition. Now it's better than ever.
Yeah, I think the same. I think as long as everybody enjoys the game, we're certainly enjoying the football anyway.
The terrific thing is, Jimmy, we're seeing Rangers and Celtic supporters sitting in amongst each other tonight. They're thoroughly enjoying it, and they're obviously going to thoroughly enjoy this fixture.
Well, it's a whole idea. The evening, the last couple of nights have been the same. The supporters have been well behaved, so the players. I made that as well. And let's hope it continues the next game.
Roy, I suppose the old Celtic-Rangers rivalry, we're not going to see that intensity tonight at the Sixes, are we, on the field of play, I mean?
I don't know if it's really that much intensity. At the end of the day, we're oldest rivals, but we're all enjoying myself here tonight, and I suppose that Jimmy and myself are about to beat each other when we go in that park, no doubt about that.
We're looking forward to it. Roy, Jimmy, thanks.
The Celtic start the first semi-final. Sheer bedlam inside the exhibition centre now. First foul of the match given to Celtic for the challenge by Neil Cooper. It'll be Joe Miller to take it. There's Roy Aitken. Joe Miller caught late there by Jimmy Nicholl, and referee George Smith taking a very firm grip on the proceedings. I recall him refereeing the Rangers Celtic Cup final of 1980, which Celtic won in extra time. And down goes Miller again, and this will be a sin bin offence for Jimmy Nicholl. Jimmy Nicholl is ordered off for 2 minutes, and that's 2 fouls inside a minute by Nicholl. Chris Morris hasn't been involved much so far in the match, but he's been a great servant to Celtic in the Sixes. Joe Miller in a ankle, so it's Jimmy Nicholl coming clear. That's towards Nisbet. A shot saved by the legs of Andrews, and blocked there by Chris Morris. Appeals for handball, waved aside by referee Smith, who was in perfect position. Here's Rogan, held up by Nisbet. Aitken to Grant, now Aitken again. Here's Joe Miller, followed across by Monroe, and Chris Woods was quick to the ball off the boards. Nicholl, Morris steps in. Tough exchange there between Morris and Neil Cooper, but it's Celtic in possession with Aitken. Here's Morris, well tackled by Nicholl. In comes Rogan. No quarter arster given, just as you would expect in an Old Firm match. Nothing friendly about this. Both sides determined to find their way through and gain a victory. Down he goes, bundled to the ground by Rogan. That'll be a foul. Rogan is waved away for bringing down Spencer, who's a very, very quick, busy player. Here's Davy Cooper over the free kick. Great shot from Spencer, that's blocked, perhaps by Nisbet in fact. Ian Andrews. There's only been one match when either side has failed to score in the entire tournament. That was Hearts in the last match against Rangers. So it's fair to expect some goals. None yet. The 6 minutes gone in the first half. There goes Cooper. Brilliant play by Cooper. Now Spencer, and Andrews recovers. Forward it goes now to Joe Miller. Miller back to Rogan. The final minute now of the first half. Still no goals, but lots of tough tackling and fierce running. Players having to pace themselves a little more for the semi-final with the additional time. It was 7.5 minutes in the qualifying matches, but now it's 10 minutes each way. Here's Spencer. Swigan is up with him. Tackle from Aitken. Here's Anton Rogan. Run back by Spencer, endearing himself to the Rangers fans. Now Stuart Munro. Reaches McSwegan. There's Peter Grant. Now Joe Miller, the last chance of the first half. It's off the boards to Grant. Just before the hooter, there's Chris Morris. The hooter goes with Celtic on the attack, but they couldn't make the breakthrough. The half-time score at Celtic 0, Rangers 0. The start of the second half as Chris Woods goes to the end, which is full of Celtic fans predominantly, and the other end full of Rangers supporters. There's Ian McCall, and the best chance of the semi-final, he goes a begging. Ian Andrews looked to be stranded there as that ball came across from Cooper. The Rangers making changes at half-time. David Cooper, Ian McCall coming on for Spencer and McSwegan. Neil Cooper also on. Here's Nicol. Back it goes to Woods. Munro and Neil Cooper together. Here's Davy Cooper. Brought down heavily by Aiken. The Rangers fans want Aiken dispatched to the sin bin, but it's just about his first foul in the match, so referee George Smith is indulgent and allows the free kick to be taken with no further action. Here's Davy Cooper. Scott Nisbet's got on for Neil Cooper. Jimmy Nicol. Rogan steps in. It's Nicol again. Playing along the boards. Here's Ian McCall. Rogan's interception. There's the opener for Davy Cooper. Well, he certainly enjoyed that all right. The deadly left foot of Davy Cooper. The ball coming across. Cooper was first there ahead of Aiken, and Rangers go in front. Annoyed here now from the Rangers fans as Peter Grant tries to reply with that tremendous effort from long range. Well saved by Woods. Quite remarkably, no sign of any activity on the Celtic bench. The same 6 players who started the match remain on the field. John Spencer's back on, replacing Stuart Munro, and here's a great chance. Spencer scores! His first of the tournament, it's 2-0 to Rangers. Spencer all on his own. He just replaced Ian McCall, not Stuart Munro, and Andrews couldn't keep that out. Well, at long last now there's some activity on the Celtic bench rather. The same 6 players have fought the battle so far, but now they're going to bring on a change. Owen Archdeacon will come on in a moment. Rangers have been using their squad to the full there, the shot. And Joe Miller pulls one back for Celtic. The first effort came from Roy Aiken. The Celtic fans come to life now. The semi-final has burst to life. Look at that shot from Aiken. And the control on that shot from Joe Miller was incredible. So Joe Miller, with his 6th of the tournament, becomes the leading goal scorer. Celtic getting that goal equal the Hamilton tally of 13 for the tournament. £2,000 award to the leading goal scoring team in the tournament. Hamilton and Celtic together at the moment. A lot of play to go on though, with another semi-final and a final to come. There's Scott Nisbet. Aiken's pass back, Spencer dips in. The referee waves play on. Spencer screaming for a penalty kick. Well, led off for Celtic, and they're on the break now with Aiken. Here's Archdeacon. Well tackled by Munro. Here's Spencer now. Believes firmly he was fouled by Andrews a moment ago. Here's Davy Cooper rather. Neil Cooper, now Munro. Trying the delicate chip beyond Ian Andrews. Here's Aiken. Storming past Cooper and McSwegan. Nisbet taking on Morris. And Chris Morris is entitled to be very tired indeed. Here's Davy Cooper. Well, he committed Andrews first and then played it off the top of the bar. Well, what a tremendous match, enjoyed by the packed crowd. Here's Joe Miller with Munro again. This time the foul is against Joe Miller. Rangers get the free kick. Too fierce with his attentions on Stuart Munro. There's Cooper. It's Roy Aiken. There's Nisbet. Fine effort by Nisbet. And it's not time there by Andrews. He couldn't come out of his area. That's beautiful control from Miller. Now Grant, the first time pass to the corner for Archdeacon. Off the boards, there's a chance on. It was saved there by Stuart Munro, right in front of goal. A great piece of defending by Munro. Here's Cooper going against Morris. First it comes to McSwegan. That's blocked by Peter Grant. There's Jimmy Nicholl. And McCall. Back with Nicholl. There's Cooper. Davy Cooper's second of the match, his third of the tournament. And that may win the match for Rangers. Look at the control and the finish. Archdeacon goes to retrieve it, he loses the ball to McCall. That looked like a foul by Archdeacon, yes. This surely means the tie is beyond Celtic. 15 seconds left, a free kick to Rangers. They'll be in no hurry to take this. The clock has now been stopped, and Neil Cooper is being spoken to for some complaint he made to the referee. I think it related to the failure to use the sin bin for Archdeacon's foul on McCall. There's Roy Aiken. Now Morris. The final hooter coming any second now. There it goes. Rangers the winners by 3 goals to 1. They go through to the final, and the man they have to thank is Davy Cooper.
McCall, Rangers triumphant. What was it like to play in that one?
It's a great atmosphere, tremendous, but there was no hassle, you know, which makes a difference.
That's right. I mean, it was good, clean stuff, although it certainly had a bit the old firm intensity, didn't it?
The last 3 minutes, you know, the different 3 minutes, how it's 10 minutes each half, makes it far harder.
To play here at the SECC, we have a Tennents Sixes Motherwell Rangers final. What do you think of that one, Hazel?
Well, I think that Motherwell, having gone out in the final last year to Dundee, will be doubly determined, but I think Rangers will be in there fighting as well.
Let's go to the action now and join Jock Brown.
So the climax of the entertainment coming up, the final of the Tennents Sixes. The teams take the field now. It's Rangers against Motherwell. A tremendous atmosphere inside the Scottish Exhibition Centre, anticipating what will be, I'm sure, a tremendous match. There's the Rangers lineup, the opening lineup in white, and again a familiar look about that. We've seen all the talents in that Rangers squad already, and we've seen Jimmy Nicholl lead the team. He had one spell in the sin bin, and in fairness, he may not be expected to be involved in too many finals for the rest of his career, so he'll certainly be working hard in this one. So Motherwell, a very well supported side for these Tennents Sixes, and not a long journey, of course. And they've come here hoping that Motherwell can go one better than they did a year ago when they lost in the final to Dundee. And there's their opening lineup, a full 12-man squad, the players starting in white. And that has been a familiar starting lineup for Motherwell. It's served them very well indeed. And they've been served particularly well by their skipper tonight, Paul Kinnaird, the scorer of 4 important goals, the former Norwich City and Dundee United striker, and he'll be all out for victory in the final. Selected for the match tonight is Jim McCluskey from Sturton. We're ready for the off. It's 10 minutes each way. Rangers against Motherwell, and this match was played in the sections last night, and Motherwell ran out the winners by 3 goals to 1 in a very impressive performance. So Rangers with a handicap, I think, at this stage in the tournament, with only 9 players in their squad against a full 12 for Motherwell. So the stamina factor may be crucial. May also be affected by the fact that Rangers had a very tough semi-final against Celtic, whereas Motherwell rather cruised to victory against St Mirren. Stuart Munro battling hard for Rangers. This is McCall, chased by Wishart. Craig Patterson judged that well, but there's Neil Cooper. The opening goal in the final is scored by Neil Cooper for Rangers. It's his 3rd of the tournament. And it could be very important indeed. Saw the opening, drilled the ball past Cammy Duncan. Well, Motherwell have been behind before, they've managed to come back. Rangers now in good heart with a huge support. Here's Stevie Bryce, who's replaced Kinnaird for the moment. Phillippen to Bryce. John Spencer is on for Rangers. This is Spencer. Cooper is the front man. Now Nicol. Spencer going forward, and the shot is blocked by Patterson. Here's Neil Cooper. Now Davy Cooper. Great power in that left foot. Phillippen touches it back to Duncan. Kirk is back on to replace Tom Boyd. Here's Phillippen. Too long for Bryce. Woods is out of his area, showing some confidence. Now there is the hooter, which indicates a penalty kick to Motherwell. Davy Cooper stepped back inside his own half and left Rangers without a player in the opposing half. So a great chance for Motherwell to get back on terms is John Phillippen facing Chris Woods. Simply no answer to that kind of power. Phillippen thumping home Motherwell's first goal of the final. It's his third of the tournament. They've all been thunderbolts like this. Phillippen closed down very quickly by Jimmy Nicol. That's Cooper's return pass. Set up for Cooper again. And the rebound came off Gordon Mayer. It almost beat Cammy Duncan. Nisbet and Mayer together. In steps Boyd, but the foul goes Rangers' way. The culprit is Gordon Mayer. There's young John Spencer, who's served Rangers so well throughout the competition. More changes being made. Motherwell bringing on Kinnaird for Bryce. Here's Ian McCall with a great chance for Rangers. Led by Phillippen only as far as Nicol. Now with Cooper. Here's McCall. Cooper again. Now McCall again. Just over 2 minutes remaining in what has been a fine first half. Very evenly contested. There's Mayer with a pass. Kinnaird trying to get away from Monroe. Long ball forward from Mayer, and down goes Boyd. Jimmy Nicol with a tackle, which allows Motherwell to regain possession with Gordon Mayer. Here's Boyd. Woods was quick. Phillippen couldn't get the shot in before he was challenged by McCall. Kinnaird battling hard at the corner. Good play from McCall, linking well with Nicol. That long ball goes right from the defence to the attack, and it means a free kick to Motherwell. Colin Neal goes on, Chris McCart goes on. So here's Phillippen with a free kick. Now O'Neill, Kinnaird. Back to Phillippen. Colin O'Neill. Oh, that's good play by O'Neill. Now Mayer, and Rangers under siege for a moment. They survived though. There's Neil Cooper. Good running by Jimmy Nicol. Well, a strange finish to that move as we go into the final half minute of the first half. Rangers 1, Motherwell 1. Tom Forsyth, a former Rangers stalwart, now guiding Motherwell in the final here. Back with Cammy Duncan. Chris McCart's at the back. Oh, using all the players to good effect. Rangers only with a squad of 9. ball to Gordon Mayer. The countdown towards the end of the first half. So there goes the hooter for half-time. It's been very even indeed in that opening 10 minutes. Rangers drawing first blood through Neil Cooper, and then the penalty kick from John Phillippen, making the half-time score Rangers 1, Motherwell 1. And lots of support for Motherwell, some of it coming, I may say, from Celtic supporters. They've got a big influence on the noise impact inside the exhibition centre. Motherwell with their own supporters coming up from Lanarkshire, and with the Celtic fans to augment their vocal support. Rangers, of course, with a huge following as usual. Free kick taken by O'Neill to McCart. Here's Colin O'Neill. It's off the boards, and a fine save. The header came from Kinnaird. It was Wishart who brought it. A good save from Woods. Well, a fast start the second half by Motherwell. There's Ian McCall. Half stopped by Kirk. Now it's back with Nicol. It's Swigan up front, number 10 for Rangers. Here's Fraser Wishart. McCart to Kirk. Cross it goes to Wishart. Forward now to Kinnaird. The marker is Monroe. Back with Wishart. Here's Colin O'Neill. Paul Kinnaird. Nudging it back to Kirk. That's Wishart. Kinnaird goes down, tackled by Monroe. Recovers quickly enough to retain possession. Played across by Kirk. Good handling by Chris Woods. Nothing wrong with his eyesight there. Nicol to Spencer. Jimmy Nicol again. Nisbet calling for the ball on the far side, but Nicol prefers Spencer. A wonderful goal for Rangers. John Spencer scoring his second goal of the tournament. But there have been very few better than that. It was an excellent pass from Jimmy Nicol. Spencer in full flight, turning it beyond Cammy Duncan. Now Phillippen. And McBride. Once again, teeing up the shot for Phillippen. This time that slightly. Off goes Spencer, on comes McCall. Phillippen too retiring for Motherwell, being replaced by Kirk. So it's Rangers' turn to retain possession. They're in front, and we're into the closing 6 minutes almost of the final. Into the phase of play where stamina will be so important. Here's Ian McCall. And that almost sneaked through the legs of Cammy Duncan. A let-off for Motherwell, no doubt about that. Here's Cooper running into Kirk. McBride to Patterson. Holding off Cooper, there's Kirk. Well tackled by Neil Cooper. Kirk does well for Motherwell. Nicol intercepts, but Wishart is back for Motherwell. This is Kirk again. McBride leaves that to Kinnaird. Cross it goes to Craig Patterson. Picked up easily by Nicol. Well, certainly no sign at the moment that Motherwell have the edge in stamina, because they did have the easier semi-final and they have the bigger squad. But Rangers buoyed by that 2-1 lead. Looking in good shape at the moment. Jimmy Nicol very fresh still. Getting help there from Ian McCall. Five minutes remaining. 1/4 of the final left. Here's Craig Patterson again. Now Martin McBride looking for the shot, and Woods is behind that, all right. Motherwell will change their strikers. Off goes Kinnaird, on comes Bryce. Bishop getting back to cover McSwegan, both very quick players. McSwegan wins it back. Set up for Cooper, a great tackle by Patterson. Here's Kirk now on the break for Motherwell. Swigan getting back, but Kirk collects again. Fast and furious stuff now in the final. Here's Bryce. Cross it goes to McBride. That was a good chance. Young Martin McBride sending that over the crossbar. Monroe back to Woods. Here's Nicol. It's back from Woods. Here's shot Monroe. Oh, great pass from Nicol, opening it up to McSwegan on the left. This is Davy Cooper, and it almost went in off Craig Patterson. That's a corner kick to Rangers. With the Wishart breathing deeply there in the middle, he's just been replaced. Corner kick will be taken by Cooper, sending it back to Jimmy Nicol. Here's Cooper again. And Nicol. McSwegan. Forcing Motherwell to do all the chasing now. Here's McSwegan again, followed by Boyd. Running into Cammy Duncan, good play by Patterson and by Boyd. Here's McBride. Getting a tangle with the referee. Oh, good play from Cooper. There's McSwegan. Well, that could have made life very difficult indeed for Motherwell. It's tough enough as it is with 2 minutes, 40 seconds left. And Rangers still in the lead by 2-1. There's Boyd. Bryce well tackled by Monroe. Monroe now on the burst for Rangers. He has Cooper up with him. Still Monroe. Stopped by Craig Patterson. Boyd easy along the boards. Duncan goes out. There's Boyd. Neil Cooper playing it across. There's no Rangers player there, so Philbin has all the time in the world to come forward. Along the boards for Stevie Bryce. Foul by Nisbet as he came on to join the action with 2 minutes remaining. Craig Patterson to Gordon Mayer. Can Motherwell snatch an equaliser before the end? Patterson back to Mayer. An ambitious one, blocked by Neil Cooper. Here's Craig Patterson with all the time to control that. Davy Cooper locked into the Motherwell half. There's Bryce. Stopped by Monroe. Played in by Boyd and well held by Chris Woods, who's had a fine tournament for Rangers. This will do his confidence a great deal of good. Now Neil Cooper. Here's Davy Cooper. Cooper through his own now to tie it up for Rangers. A fine save by Duncan. Here's John Philbin. Cross it comes to Kirk. We're inside the final minute of the final now. And that's blocked to the line by Monroe. Here's Bryce with Monroe, and the free kick goes to Motherwell. Monroe is penalised for a push on the boards. Seconds ticking away while the referee sorts this out. Back to Mayer. Here's Jimmy Nicol. Cooper couldn't control it. Sign of fatigue there. So the countdown beginning very early from the Rangers fans. Here's Craig Patterson. And Motherwell snatch an equaliser. 20 seconds remaining. Here's Neil Cooper for Rangers. Davy Cooper will keep possession, I'm sure, as long as he can. Twisting and turning, playing it across now to Nisbet. It looks good for Rangers. They're hanging on now. 5 seconds left. Rangers now assured of winning the Tennents Sixes. There goes the hooter. Rangers are the winners. Davy Cooper, a key man. And just listen to the Rangers fans around the Scottish Exhibition Centre now. The Rangers players all on the field. And the winner coming from young John Spencer. A goal fit to win any final. It was really a superb goal set up by Jimmy Nicol and finished by John Spencer. Good old Motherwell. runners-up for the second year in a row after contributing so much fine entertainment to the occasion. But in the end, as fatigue set in, it was Rangers who got their noses in front and held on. And they are the winners in the final by 2-1.
Well, with me are the two Coopers looking somewhat bedraggled. Neil, what did you make of that? You must be delighted Rangers have clinched it.
Delighted tonight. Great performance from the lads. Really hard work, and we've done very well. We've done it all together. Really enjoyed it.
Davey, would it be fair you hit a new lease of life tonight? You were playing like a demon.
Yeah, well, we had a bad start to the tournament, and Ali McCoy's got that goal with 24 seconds to go earlier on. But I think as the tournament went on, we grew from strength to strength and ended up winning it.
How do you rate the Tennents Sixes, Davey?
Superb tournament. It's a great way to get away from the Premier League in every week, so it's good for the players. Enjoy.
I think you've lost a few pounds tonight, Neil.
I know, maybe I needed it. But really hard work, but all the lads are delighted. Really enjoyed it.
So Rangers then were the winners of the Tennents Sixes. They were runners-up in Group 2. They went on to beat Celtic 3-1 in the semi-final, and then they triumphed in the final 2-1 over Motherwell.
And commiserations, of course, to Motherwell, the second year in a row they've been beaten in the final. But do join us for the final again, 6:30, only on Scottish tomorrow.